Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Wednesday, the 1st of September, comes to you from London. And quite a lot of green on the screen this morning, so that's good news for markets. Looking at the dollar, it has been short-term weak. Remembering this is my weekly, my daily, and my 60-minute chart, long-term, medium-term, and short-term view of the market with the corresponding point and figure charts. And of course, if we're below the cloud, we're bearish. If we're above the cloud, we're bullish. So we have a bullish medium-term trend, but short term we are bearish, and that's really that the dollar is just hitting this resistance that we saw back in March, April, although it does look ultimately like we might break that. We've got some upside targets in the short term that suggest that. Looking at the euro dollar, that's stronger against that weaker dollar, so that's showing through as well. The Japanese yen, the dollar is holding that 110 level. This is normally a little bit of a lead indicator for the dollar, and we're seeing that dollar strength against the yen. Yen is weaker. The yen is quite often the risk-on trade, so we're just seeing that risk-on trade disappearing at the moment. Looking at the sterling rate, we're sitting at 137.60, again just stronger against that slightly weaker dollar. The euro is sitting at 116.5, been pretty static the last few months at that sort of level. Bitcoin is sitting at $47,000, still short-term bearish, but medium-term and long-term bullish, and the recovery well underway. These targets, $83,000 is where we're looking to in the medium and long-term targets. The S&P 500 index holding on to its bullish trend, making new highs, just climbing up the hill, very consistently there, which means when this trend does break, it will become quite clear to us. So that's really interesting to see that, and it's showing up there on the daily chart. So bullish there, and the Nasdaq a similar picture, of course. The futures this morning, we're seeing the S&P future up 1/3%, the Nasdaq E-mini up 1/3%. So we are just seeing that improvement there. And the VIX volatility sitting quite low at 16. The fear index at a low level around this, nudging this low of 15, which we've seen, but it's bearish in all three time frames. So the fear index is not showing any concerns. Looking at the FTSE future, we're up 0.8%. The DAX cash market in Germany is up 0.6%, and in Paris we're up over 1% on the CAC 40. So that's bullish in Europe. Japan is up nearly 2%, well 1.2%. Again, the weaker yen helping there. The Hang Seng up nearly 2%, and Shanghai was up 1%. So we are seeing that fall that we saw in July has been fully recovered pretty much in the Chinese market, so that's pretty good news. The Sensex and the Australian markets were down slightly, but no big changes there. We'll look at the energy mix in a minute. Soft commodities got sugar up 0.4%, corn down 0.75%, so just seeing a bit of weakness there. Gold's holding on to that $1,800 level, so looking short-term bullish. Still has a little bit of work to do to get back above the cloud, but it looks like the long-term cloud support was held. Silver sitting at 23.80, had a pretty tough August, so we're in this medium-term downtrend for silver, but we've got a long-term flag pattern going on here with silver, so that's going to be the key, is just watching whether we break out of that range. Taking a look at platinum, we're down this morning. Palladium up 1%, so looking a little bit better there, short-term bullish. US 10-year yield sitting at 1.33%, nudging higher. We need to break that 137 level to activate a target to 175, and much the same here on the weekly chart. So if we break this high on the daily 1% chart, we will activate this target into the 170s, which would be significant, of course. Looking at the energy mix now, Brent crude looking a little bit better this morning. But I've kept this chart here, and we're holding on to, this is the daily and the 60-minute chart, so the medium term and long, short term, and then the daily 60-minute and 1 minute. These are very short-term targets, of course. The interesting thing to remember, and I've kept this chart on the screen here, is we made the lower high and the lower low. Until we break that pattern, so we need to break above that 76.40 level. Until we break that pattern, this lower high, lower low scenario hangs over us, so that's quite key. WTI, much the same picture, of course, just holding the cloud there. We've got multiple targets in both directions, so this will be quite interesting to watch play out. And we've got nat gas in the US sitting at 443, looking very strong indeed, just pushing higher all the time. Coal is looking strong again. 116 is the level. No stopping coal. It's just going through the roof. And if we look at emissions, of course, we made that new high, up 1.7% this morning, really running. We've got good short-term targets here on the emissions chart, so that's quite key as well. And looking at the future, the UK future, we've got pushing higher there as well. Gas, no stopping MBP. We're sitting at 133. Hard to believe that price when we look back to where we were a year ago. We are looking back at March even, we were at 40. We're now at 133. There's just no stopping gas prices. And if we look at TTF, the picture is similar, of course, just heading for the moon there. German power sitting at 89, nudging that €90 mark. That will be the key. Can we break €90? We've got targets suggesting that we will. It's looking very bullish indeed. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.